back. Now, it's a movement of unemployed young women living in informal settlements. It is appealing to the Finance Minister, Unemployed, to come up with a job creation plan for women like them. Silindokuhle Hlazo is the spokesperson for Young Women for Life movement, and she joins us live now all the way from Cape Town. Ms. Hlazo, thank you for your time and good morning to you. You make quite detailed, appeals here to the Finance Minister. I want to get into them point by point, starting with the importance about your expectation from government to extend the COVID-19 Special Relief Dispensation Grant beyond the 300, beyond March 2022. The 350 that we know has been so important and helpful to so many people. You are saying as a movement that should actually be extended.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me this morning. And I do agree. As a movement, today I come as a spokesperson for thousands of young women living in informal settlements who are experiencing the struggles of living in informal settlements and some of the rural areas in South Africa, and a number of disadvantaged communities. And definitely, Tumelo, we are advocating that the medium-term budget policy statement have an extension on the COVID relief fund, especially around the grants, because we have seen the struggle of young women. We always have had the struggle, but then with COVID and everything that has happened to businesses and the workplace, there has been too much change and there is need for that grant to stay on. Yeah. And a total elimination of the plans to actually replace the grants with household grants, to replace social grants with the household grant, which a lot of discussions have led to people questioning, won't this worsen gender-based violence? Because who is in charge of the grant in that house? As we know, women are very vulnerable within homes. We may stand today, you and I talking this morning, but in our homes is where we're most vulnerable. Right. So we question that also. We are also very vulnerable. We might be powerful outside, but then we are very vulnerable in our homes, and it's something that people hardly talk about. Yeah, and that's why you're appealing to this, because you're saying that you are appealing for social protection. And I suppose not only for young women, but also for the youth, because you're saying that if they are excluded, from this, thousands of them obviously will not receive that social protection with the current economic crisis that South Africa obviously currently is in. Yes, we are definitely advocating for job creation for the less privileged, because we understand what other people would call the poor. But then we are saying focus on job creation and social protection for the disadvantaged. But knowing that women, especially young women, fall into the largely vulnerable groups.
Yeah. I want to touch on another point that you make in terms of your appeals to the Finance Minister. You're appealing also for them to, instead of reducing social spending on the poor, to actually cut back, right, on the extravagant packages that government officials, obviously in underperforming SOEs, we see, seem to be receiving. These are some cabinet ministers, some mayors. You're saying, instead of, cutting back on budget in some of the public services that definitely the poor need, we're talking here, health, education, sanitation, just to name a few, rather cut back on those extravagant kind of benefits that some of our government officials are enjoying.
Yes, I've had the privilege to be in Parliament. The lunches, for people who are working, and we're just saying, I know, like we once worked strongly around water and sanitation, and there were questions about how budgets for certain government buildings are higher than whole formal in settlements. So that's exactly what we're saying. If ministers are underperforming, we already have underperforming ministers. That is not that cannot be questioned. So why do we not move that to the development of the unemployed youth?
Right. Well, hopefully the Finance Minister is watching, and we appreciate you speaking to us. Silindokuhle Hlazo, spokesperson from the Young Women for Life movement. Thank you for your time.